Welcome to the International Art Doll Registry podcast. And today, Bambi and I are going to be talking about Bluesky. Hi, Bambi.
Hey everybody.
Bambi, are you on Bluesky yet?
Yes, I signed up for an account, of course, as soon as I saw all my friends jumping ship from other social media platforms and running to Blue Sky. So I did. I signed up. I started playing around with it, posting some things. I was very careful not to post things too quickly because I've learned from other social media platforms like TikTok and Instagram and YouTube the way the algorithms work. If you sign up right away and all of a sudden start posting stuff, the algorithm thinks you're a bot, kind of holds off on putting your stuff out there. At first, all I really did was just watch videos or channels or comments or things like that posts that were kind of on the same topic of what I would eventually be posting about. So I haven't really posted too much on there.
Well, first of all, let me explain something to you because the way I finally understood the difference of Bluesky from those other social media platforms really makes you a difference of how you think about using it. And the way it was explained to me is think of X and Facebook and Instagram, TikTok, they're all the same way, is they're all coming from one source, the black box. And they are just like a cable TV where you only got to choose maybe whatever channels they were offering to give to you, but that's all you got to see. That's what determines your algorithm. Bluesky is like what streaming channels did to the cable box because of the fact that Bluesky is not just one box. It is out there independent. It has different servers. And so that's how come you can create your own algorithm on it. It's
Mm.
going to have that massive change because of people being able to do that. What I suggest when you first sign up for Bluesky is go into your moderation. Your moderation is where you can put your safe measures in because you can block people, you can block accounts, but you can also block words so that if you want to block politics or the fact that you want to block cow pictures or something like that,
Oh, so
you
like
can
if you
stri-
wanted to block a particular person's name so that you never see it, you can do
mm-hmm,
that. Oh,
mm-hmm.
I love
Yep.
that feature.
Yeah. So, and that's just it, because then what happens is then you're telling it, I don't want to see any of that stuff. And so therefore it should really streamline your your initial feed because again, you're first telling it what you want to see or don't want to see. Then what you want to do is you want to pick at least three feeds that you might want to look at. And that's where the article that I wrote for the IDR magazine helps you
Yeah.
get a little bit more visuals of where you can look at for some of those things. But what you want to do is you either click on the hash mark that's on the left-hand side where it says feed. That's one way to get to it. Otherwise, there's also one option on the right-hand side. When you click on it, you go to a little bit further down and there's a blank spot in there where you can type in art, clay,
Oh,
sculpting. And when all the feeds that are created with those hashtag or SEO words in it will pop up so you can pick people that have the same thought process as what you
mhm.
are. I created an IDR feed. So when you go down to feed, type in IDR and then we should come up as an option. And then what you want to do is you hit the plus sign that is to the right of that, and that will add that to your feed. And
Okay.
so more people we can get that click on the feed, the more popular it makes it. But
Yes.
also the other way you can use it is simply when you make a post, type in the hashtag IADR registry. And then that way, when I see it, I can then grab it and repost it on the timeline. It is similar to Twitter in the respect of that you're posting and that you hope other people see your post, comment on it, and repost it because when they repost it, they're reposting it on their timeline. And that's what allows it to be getting out there. The thing is people talk about starter packs and lists. Those are where if you want to, as you just said, sign up and get a massive following right away. I
Hmm.
did not want to jump in on those
Oh,
because, like you said, I think that's a good way to get in with robots. And
yeah.
uh, you what happens is because all that's public. And as soon as it goes public, you don't know who's going to find it or whatever. I rather have it to where I'm doing it just like how I used to do it on Twitter, where people that are showing up on my newsfeed and you go and you like something on theirs, or you even
Hmm.
go the extra step and comment on their post, and then you can follow them and hope that they follow you back. That's a little bit slower process, but I'm
Yeah.
getting more real engagements that way.
Yes, I do think when you are more interactive,
Mm-hmm.
certainly, I know that if someone comments on your post, don't just like it, comment back, because that
Yes.
doubles your comments and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And even negative comments, and I don't know if there's a button for likes and or dislikes, but even those kind of negative things also, as long as there's not a whole lot of them. But you've always got those people out there who have to say something negative.
But you can
So
delete
I
them.
think, yeah, oh
And
yeah,
then also, that's where you go ahead and block them because if they're not going to be positive to your feed, block them.
oh yeah. Well,
Yeah.
is there a limited number of characters?
There is in with Bluesky for right now, and that's a come like I said, there's so many exciting things happening with it. So with Bluesky right now, you really should use a square picture for posting, and then you are limited for how long you can go. And I can't quite remember because the little numbers will count down there as you
Yeah.
start posting and stuff. When you get into
Yeah.
the red, you know you've added too many. But the interesting thing about it is because when I signed up for Bluesky, it was like at 13 million. And then we had the election happen. And with the election happening, it jumped up to 20 million.
Yeah.
Right now, it is over 30 million.
Oh,
So it's fast
it's
growing.
growing.
When you're in on that groundbreaking part of the social media platform, you have more people that are open to wanting to like and follow you and stuff
Yeah.
versus if you come in when it's been established for however long and stuff.
Yeah.
So that's the reason why it's kind of to your advantage to want to get into it sooner than later. The other thing I will mention about feeds is also the nice thing because you can create your own algorithm by your feeds, you can then say, okay, I'm going to go try this feed for a while and see if it's got the things in it that I want to see, like art or dolls or whatever. And if it doesn't, you can then click it off. You just go back down to your feeds, you hit the trash can, you throw it away and pick up another feed. So that's
Oh,
how
I
come.
like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
oh yeah, it really
I
does
like that
because
because so many other platforms, it's kind of a negative hit on you if you delete things,
mhm.
or if you throw things in the trash or, that sort of thing. So that's good to hear.
Well, it is because what I'm trying to do for the IDR is not make it just about the doll maker or the doll artist, because
Mhm.
if we are only seen by each other, then we don't have the possibility of sales.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
So I'm
yeah.
also trying to and grow that IDR feed to include artists of different mediums because
Yes.
you never know. A photographer still might like something that you're doing, or the fact that there's something that the photographer who decided to follow you likes a picture and shares it on his timeline. Well, everybody that's on his timeline just saw it.
And that's how
So,
collaborations get started. Somebody sees you, you have a similar vibe or style or, those kind of things. You just click. And collaborations are a good way to expand your reach. So yeah, that sounds like a great tool.
well, and I'm still finding because these social medias are getting so confusing because right now it's annoying because with Facebook, they went ahead and did away with their safety features as far as now it's supposed to be community monitored as far as what's going to be true and what's not going to be true. He's also going to be creating more of his algorithms with AI.
Hmm.
So if with AI, then that doesn't necessarily mean it's what I maybe what I want to see, but it's not really what I want to see from real people that I'm engaging with.
Yes, yeah.
And then the other thing that he was doing was the hashtag, especially because people are all thinking that if I go over to Instagram, it'll be different. Well, Instagram is still owned by Zuckerberg, so some of these changes that he's doing in Facebook is eventually going to come over to
Of course.
Instagram.
Oh yeah.
And he decided that he's doing away with the hashtag in respect of, let's say I was following you on your page. So
Hmm.
therefore, if the algorithms figure that they're sorting it now by AI, they're doing away with the hashtags. So I may not be getting your information that you're posting because of the simple fact is the hashtags are getting less and less important on
Yeah.
Instagram.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and so
it's really frustrating.
mhm,
It's frustrating and hard to keep up with what's happening and what to do. I have two questions about Blue Sky.
mhm.
The first one is it mostly text messages and texted posts and photos, or do you see very many videos? How does the content look to you?
Okay, this is what's so fun about Blue Sky because with Blue Sky, you can create your own apps. And when people create these apps, they become available for all of us to be able to use. And one of the feeds that you may also want to click on is Blue Sky feed, which will kind of keep you up to date what's going on with Blue Sky. But they just added the option to be video on there. There is still a short length of video for right now, but that's a come like I said, this is all going to be changing here soon because all these changes are really just coming out in the last maybe 3 to 4 months. So I mean that's how quick they are to adapting and trying to get things out there. So what happens is because have posted my videos on Blue Sky, you just have to keep in mind that 30 seconds is about the length of them right now, but
Mm-hmm.
that is going to change because there is going to be eventually a layout on Blue Sky similar to TikTok to where you can do the vertical videos and possibly go longer. There's also right now to where they're trying to set up kind of an Instagram type of app for Blue Sky. Now, I really don't know how much different that is than what Blue Sky is right now,
Yeah.
but it might be just that it streams more pictures or something more so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So those are things that are coming out, and that's come like I said, Blue Sky is growing and it's
Mm-hmm.
adapting, and yet it's not limiting you to just showing you what you think you need to be seen because there's also where you can put in um, that you don't want any artificial pictures. You can
Mm-hmm.
because there's some of the feeds are saying we are artists. No, AI is accepted.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
so that way you can gauge with just actual artists, or if you like AI, then you can also go to some of those feeds that features the AI.
That's a great idea. I think because I know there's so much controversy with AI, and I'm on the fence with it, like I am almost everything else that ever comes up in the world. There are good and there are bad. And
Mm,
I'm all about disclosure, and I can't appreciate anything pretty much for what it is. Now, don't show me a beautiful, fabulous, outrageously gorgeous picture and try to convince me that you painted it or you took it with a camera or something like that. But on the other hand, it's not much different than you taking a photograph and uploading it to a program on your computer and completely changing it into something that looks like a cartoon. It's all kind of, but tell me that you've done that. That's what I want to know.
exactly.
Tell me that you've done that. My gosh, how long ago did Harry Potter come out? Must have been what, 25 years ago now? Oh my gosh.
It's
We
over
were
30 here.
all we were all fascinated by the photo album that Hagrid gave Harry with the pictures moving in there.
Hmm.
We have that now. We have Harry Potter photo albums right now, but we could not have that without AI, you know.
Hmm.
So I can totally appreciate these adorable little miniature fuzzy elephants, that are just so adorable. You know that they don't exist, and you know that it's just created with AI, even though it looks super real. It's fun to look at. It's very entertaining. It's beautiful, and you can appreciate it for that. So I do understand people who I know a lot of people who would absolutely use that tool and say, no, I don't want anything that's AI. I don't want anything that has to do with AI or that was generated via AI or created that way. I don't want to have anything to do with it. I think that will be an appealing feature for people.
My concern is AI is it can develop so fast. And this is where the algorithm is so important because when we posted, we maybe only were fighting maybe 100 posts or something like that that could have been AI generated. By the
Mhm,
end of 2025, they're saying that could be over in the thousands. So your single
mhm.
post that you were hoping to get into the algorithm that was competing against 100 is now competing against more than 1,000 or more.
Yeah.
That how do you fight that unless you can get into where you can create your own algorithm, your own support group, your own community
Yeah.
on where your social media is at so that you can then feel like I'm posting something and people are going to see it. And they're also going to know what it is that I'm showing you. It's going to be real or not real, but I'll have told you what's going on with it. Because actually, I took one of my doll heads the other day because one of my programs allowed me to be able to make him move. And it was fun to see.
Yeah.
But I also had to realize that
Yeah.
if people see that, though, then they forget that my dolls were able to be sold because then they're just seeing the picture. So it's kind of like, do I, don't I use it? But if you,
Yeah.
it depends on how you use it. But that's a come, like I said, no, Bluesky has a whole lot of those options of where you can say, I want to see stuff that are made with AI. So show that in my feed, or I want to join these other feeds that say all I want to see is just the artist's work. But
Right.
yes, you can do some video, you can do posting for right now, but keep in mind it's going to be changing. It's going to be getting even
Yeah.
better down the road here.
It's not going to go away. I used to always tell my students, and when I about 15 years ago, our district got all laptops. So students quit getting textbooks. We had no more textbooks. Every student was issued a laptop at the beginning of the school year, and it was a difficult transition, and so many of them, and especially so many of their parents, wanted to go back to having textbooks. And I said so many times, we don't go back. Once we make a technological advancement, some kind of technology is invented and improved on, and it's going to be better, even if there are glitches and stuff right now that have to be worked through, we're not going to scrap it and go back to the way we were. It's just going to keep changing and improving and getting better and expanding. It's here to stay.
For a couple of reasons it's here to stay. One is because one, you can also put your links in there. When you do your post, you can put your website links in it. You can put your Etsy shop links in it. There's no restrictions on who you can put links in with your post. Not like some other places to where they block you or you don't, or you think your post is going out and you find out it didn't. But the
Hmm.
other side of the coin is, and this is what makes Bluesky totally different, is because people say, well, they don't want to start all over again. I've already started up on Facebook and I've already started up on Instagram. I've got these
Yeah.
followers.
Yes.
Well, when you get started in Bluesky, that group of people that follow you, the way they're linked in with other platforms, you don't have to start all over because you can even use one app right now that if you were in Twitter, that you can then contact your Twitter followers or see who's coming into Bluesky from Twitter so that you can even contact them so that they can then say, oh, okay, you're on Twitter, now you're on um, Bluesky, I can, jump over and follow you. So for
Mm.
people that have, a million followers or whatever,
Yeah.
they can have that jump over much easier, faster than having to totally start all over from scratch. So from my understanding is whatever you build up on Bluesky, you don't have to scratch it to start another platform. You can take it with you.
That's great. That brings me to my second question that I had, and that is, can you monetize on Blue Sky?
Not right yet, but the person who's working on these other apps for like the TikTok videos and the Instagram is also doing that. So I would not be surprised within the next couple months that there's going to be a way to do that.
Oh, all right. Well, here's a tip then. Since we're getting in on the ground floor for TikTok and Instagram, I'm pretty sure the number is 10,000 followers that you have to have before you can monetize. I'm sure there are a few other little things. Usually there are two or three criteria that you have to meet, but I know one of them is the number of followers that you have, and I'm pretty sure that number is 10,000. So that's something you can start working on Blue Sky right now so that when it is
Mhm.
monetized, you don't have to go, oh, let me try to go get some more followers now or whatever I can do. Kind of
Mhm.
find out what those other criteria are for monetizing on other social media and go ahead and be building towards that on Blue Sky so that when they do launch their monetization program, you can hit the ground running.
You could, other than keep in mind too that Bluesky's approach to it might be slightly different because they're not looking at this app coming from one box because of the fact that you can be linked to other things. That's the reason why you might be a different base for what they're choosing for you to
Yeah,
monetize with. So it's
yeah,
going to be interesting to see what's going to be happening with it. But it is really the growing social media platform
yeah,
because Deep Seal that came out here just recently from China. It's the one that really kind of blew things up because when TikTok went down, there was all the political agenda that was with that.
Hmm.
Well, Deep Seal came out just at that same time. It's on a similar platform that Bluesky is at. And so because of that, people can then go to it, create different apps from it, and build their whole own little social media world. Problem is that's out of China. Bluesky here is created by the guy who created
Yeah,
Twitter in the first place. So
yeah,
that's one reason why it has a little similarity, though he's no longer on the board. He's there's another CEO that's now in charge, but it's a board of more than just one person. That's the reason why it makes Bluesky so much more appealing. The thing is that if Deep Sea and Bluesky are realizing that they need to go out into this new social media platform to where you're not coming out of just a single box, that, as you said, we're going to
mhm,
be moving forward. This way that they're doing the social media is going to cause such a change with social media that that's the reason why Facebook and X and all of them are trying to slow this down because they
yeah,
realize they're still in the single box scenario. So
yeah,
that's become, like I said, the more we can get moved over here to Bluesky, you're going to be in head that much easier. And
yeah,
and
yeah.
I'm learning it because you're going to be learning it with them. It's so much easier to learn how to adjust your stuff when
And
you're.
we're so much more knowledgeable now. When Facebook first started, oh my gosh, the only thing we really knew about was MySpace, and some of us really ancient people had used ICQ in the past, but before that, there was nothing really like that. And
Mhm.
then, so a lot of us then, when we started using Facebook, anybody who just started using it at that time didn't really have business proposal in mind. It wasn't really like a part of their business plan, not something they were trying to do to make money. Maybe they wanted to spread the word about themselves or that kind of thing. But certainly, I think Facebook in the beginning was strictly about connecting with people you knew on the other side of the world or the country or those kind of things. I think now, though, we're much more savvy about new social media programs popping up. We
Right.
kind of know what to look for. We know certainly for those of us who are thinking of using it as part of our business plan and a way to advertise our sales or to make more sales or get collaborations or get sponsorships or any of those kinds of things. I think it's important for us to kind of look back on what our past experiences have taught us and realize we have a golden opportunity here with this up and coming platform that is obviously very popular and is gaining momentum. And I think it's an opportunity that we should not pass up.
Totally agree with all that you're saying and stuff. And the biggest thing is too, because I am not a tech savvy person. What little bit of time I was on Twitter really helped me to understand Bluesky, but it's not that hard. Is once you realize that you're creating your own feed, then it just gets your mind thinking in a whole different way than
Yeah,
when you're stuck with how do I beat the algorithms in Facebook and Instagram?
yeah,
How do I post? Then they just change it because first it was all you had to have all these likes, then you had to have all these followers. So it's ever whims that they decide to change, you're trying to
mhm,
jump through hoops. I'm on
yeah,
Blue Sky and I'm saying, no, I just need to say, okay, I'm going to either use this feed to help get it seen because you could create your own feed if you want to. The biggest thing is you again aren't going to be seen unless you get a lot of people that are liking it and using it. The thing is we can start out right now and be doing that. Just like I
yeah.
said, use the IDR feed and know that you're going to be getting shared right away once you do that.
Mhm.
You use the IDR feed. I see you, Bambi, saying you're posting it. You use my feed. Now I'm going to follow you just like that. You got an extra follower. Really easy. Biggest thing is like I said, you check out your people before you start following them back because you can go click on their account. You can see what they're posting and what their little write-ups are. But otherwise, it's so much easier to follow somebody back than what it is right now with Facebook because you don't even know if Facebook is even sending you a real friend request or whether or not it's an AI generated one.
I'm
Mhm.
excited about it. I'm definitely gonna start using it more. I was really invested in three. YouTube, not counting Facebook. Facebook doesn't count. But with YouTube and Instagram and TikTok, I was really focused, and that's time consuming. And you do think, oh my gosh, I don't want to learn a new platform, Plus, I tried to post three different things instead of posting the same thing on all three platforms. So, that takes a lot of creativity and thought
Hmm.
and just getting the videos ready, even if it's just a 15-second video, it takes some time. So I was certainly one of those. But then, like I said, I feel very let down by TikTok. And at
Hmm.
this point, I don't know what happened, but TikTok used to, when you would post a video on TikTok, it would download a copy of it to your phone. But there was always a TikTok watermark was on it. So you couldn't repost it anywhere. You had to go through another app that would re-download it, download the video without the watermark, and then maybe you could load it up. But that wasn't ideal. Suddenly, the TikTok logo is not on those videos. So when you post a video on TikTok, it downloads a copy to your phone, but it doesn't say TikTok on there anywhere. Now, I feel somewhere in all that technology, there's something embedded in there, right, that says TikTok, but it doesn't say it on the screen.
That as soon as we put in our warning to them, they're only like under this 30-day window before something has to be decided. So that's still up in the air. The powers that be gave them that 30-day extension. TikTok was not exactly the same way that it was before.
Completely
So
not. It doesn't work very well, but I'm still using it for some filters in there that I love. But I do love a lot of the features. Their voiceover's easy, adding little things like a sparkle. If I want to put a little fairy flitting across the screen, it's easy for me to do. Well, all I'm really using TikTok now for is to post the video so that it will then put it on my phone and then I upload it as my YouTube short the next day.
right now, like I said, with Blue Sky the way it is, you can do video, but the length of time you want to keep it like within at least that 30 seconds or less, I think, if I still remember right.
Yeah.
But that's the reason why you should be able to use the same format. So you can make like one and just know
Hmm.
it can go in two different places. Because I mean, the YouTube clips were supposed to be only be less than a minute anyway. I think they were supposed to be
Yeah.
around at 30 seconds.
Yeah.
So you can
Yeah.
redo that.
But the other thing is, like, if you upload a short to YouTube, it just doesn't seem as user friendly to me to upload a video and then add text and then maybe add some elements and add some music or sound. YouTube isn't as user friendly for that to me, and it doesn't have as many options, I guess, especially when it comes to music. I can say for TikTok, I like it for those features, but whether it'll ever bounce back, I don't know. And I don't intend to try to focus on getting any monetization from them. So I'm wondering about uploading videos then to Blue Sky. Oh,
With
good.
TikTok going down, that really put a fire underneath Blue Sky to start trying to get
Oh,
them
good.
another alternative out there. That's the biggest thing. It seems to be that Blue Sky's listening to when we're saying we want this stuff. They're trying to find some way of doing it because it literally,
I
just like
love
you
it.
said, somebody has to create an app for it. And once
Yeah.
that gets done, those will be options out there. Do you a little bit of your homework. I think whatever
Sure.
you find out there written about Blue Sky, I just keep hearing a lot of positive things about it.
Hopefully it'll take off. And I don't like, I know all those social media platforms, they all manipulate us. I know that they do. Everybody, every commercial, all those people. But it just seems like TikTok is being so in your face manipulative right now.
Well, it's not even that. You get to be able to control the air you see or
Something you
hear.
can control. That's right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Because the
Mhm.
others, we really don't. We're at their
No.
mercy. And
Yeah.
if they, heaven forbid that you should post something and their bots determine that it doesn't meet community standards, you could be, shadow banned. You don't even know it. You're putting in all this effort and nobody's seeing your videos, and you can't even talk to a person to try to
Nope.
get it worked out.
Well, that's a come I say. You can go ahead and you can follow the IDR account. Also realize that there's an IDR feed. So there is two different things. There's the feed as well as the account. Both of them are going to get you seen as an IDR member for sure. That when you post on there, you're going to get at least a like and a repost and whatever. But those are your perks as being a member.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm definitely peaked now, and my interest is peaked. I'm gonna check it out.
All right. Well, with that note, then we will see you here in next month with a podcast, and I'm looking forward to seeing what you're going to have for a stop motion action for me,
Please,
dear.
please, fingers crossed, fingers crossed. I've got some great ideas.